is the day we've been waiting for, and we have the brand new popularity list for the UK for baby names for both boys and girls. I'm going to go through the biggest, fastest, trending names in the top 100, not just the top 1 to 10. I will pop those on screen now for girls. But what do you reckon are the fastest movers and groovers? This is the list that you need to know. My name's SJ and I'm a UK baby name consultant, YouTuber and podcaster, so hit subscribe so you don't miss any amazing baby names on my channel that might just be the one. So the 9th most popular trending name in the top 100 has gone up 10 spots to be number 99 in the charts, and it's the name Beatrice. Such a classic. I can't believe it's been languishing down the bottom of the charts for so long. It's got so much going for it. It means voyager, so it's got this really outdoorsy, adventurous meaning, but it's really, really classic. Obviously, we have a Princess Beatrice here in the UK, and it's got such gorgeous nicknames because you can be Bee, which is really, really lovely, or you can even be Trixie for sort of your teen years. But I wanted to also give you a couple of alternatives for each of these names. If the popularity makes you feel a bit wobbly, should I still go with it because it's popular? Yes, you should. But just in case, you could also just mix it up really simply and go Beatrix with the X on the end. It lends itself really nicely to Trixie then as a nickname, and it's the name of Beatrix Potter, so it's got that literary feel to it. A couple of vintage options you might like are Felicity. I really love the name Felicity. It's got the same pretty longness as Beatrice, but it's only at number 149 in the chart. So it actually went further up a couple of years ago and it's gone back out, which is good. That's what we want. We don't want to be like all trendy. We want to go with the ones that are a little bit outside. And it's the most beautiful meaning because it's a modern virtue name meaning happiness and joy. So I think Felicity is so gorgeous. You could even go Agnes. So you've got Beatrice, jumps quite nicely to Agnes if you like the sound of it. It's a really vintage name as well. It's got that vintage cool if that's what you're after. But it's only at number 419, so a really good option. The 8th most popular name went up 10 places as well, but lands now at number 58. And it is the most beautiful name. It's the name Mabel. Aren't we all old school and vintage? Isn't it amazing to think that the playgrounds will be like Beatrice and Mabel again? But I absolutely love it. It's such a gorgeous name. It's really come up the charts fast recently. And Belle, like Isabel and Belle by itself, have always been a really, really popular sound meaning beautiful. And Mabel itself means lovable. I also think because we've got the singer Mabel, it's put it on a few modern name lists where it might have had a bit of a push up the charts because of that. So alternatives though, you could go Mabel, which is also really rising in the Welsh charts because it's the Welsh form of Mabel. And I actually really like it with the little I ending. It's got more of that nickname as first name sound to it. The other alternative I put up is the name Sybil. So Sybil, it's quite similar to Mabel, but it's not got the bell ending, it's got B-I-L, and I love it. I think it's so on the vintage vibes. It's only 23 babies were called Sybil last year, which I'm so surprised about. And it's got this really gorgeous spiritual meaning because it means prophetess, so like a little crystal ball. And I feel like those symbols, a lot of these names are like celestial, get it out. But Sybil, I just think is so cool, really, really, really underused. Where's all the Sybil's? The 7th most popularly rising name for girls in the UK was Heidi. It is back. Heidi, that was one of the names I really wanted to be called when I was little because I was just obsessed with the book, obsessed with the Heidi bed. That was the main thing. I just wanted to sleep up in the rafters. So it went up 11 places and is now at 84 in the UK chart. It's a Germanic name meaning noble, and a lot of those Germanic names have been coming through the charts. I do have my German name list on the way actually. I really like it, and I can tell it's getting popular because I think where Ivy is right up in our top 10, Heidi's a really natural sounding alternative, and we always see that when one goes up, sort of some come hot on its heels behind it with a similar sound, a similar kind of vibe, and I think Ivy and Heidi have a very similar vibe. If you're looking for an alternative, you could go with Ida. So it's a little bit different. It's still the German sound and it means prosperous, which is so beautiful, but it's only at number 257. So a lot more rare if you're thinking that Heidi is getting a bit popular. Another German name I love is the name Liesel. Absolutely love it. It's so similar to Heidi for me because it's got the Sound of Music reference to it as well. One of the Von Trapp family singers was Liesel. So I think a lot of people are super familiar with it as they are Heidi. It's a form of Elizabeth, and we were talking recently about Elizabeth coming back with a bit of a bang after Her Majesty's passing. So I think it's a really forgotten type of name. It's actually unranked in the UK. So again, a really rare gem. If Heidi's your bag, you could go with Liesel. At number 6 is the name Lyra. So Lyra went up 12 places to number 80, and again it's such a gorgeous name. It's actually a constellation name, so you probably recognise it from that, and it comes from a Greek myth with Lyra being the lyre. I never say that, like the musical instrument, so it's so beautiful. Also the character in his Dark Materials, which came out a few years ago as a TV show, but the books, and Ed Sheeran called his little girl Lyra, and we do see celebrities do lend themselves to a bit of a trend, a little bit of a trendsetter, isn't he, Ed Sheeran? No, I haven't seen Antarctica anywhere, which is her middle spot. I thought if you like the name Lyra, you might love one of my favourite names, Elvira. So Elvira means truth, and it is so gorgeous. I think it's just as whimsical and kind of magical as a Lyra, but much more rare. Also the heroine of Blithe Spirit as well, so I felt like all these literary associations are always really lovely to know, and I love Elvira. Do you really like it? Let me know what you think of it in the comment section below. Or the other one I thought, if you like Lyra, is Lydia. There's loads of L sounds all through this list, so Lydia could be one to pop down on your notes pages if you like it. It means beautiful one, and I've always liked the name Lydia, and it ranks at number 140, so again it's in a bit more of a sweet spot. If Lyra gets pinched, I think the main thing is that when names get more popular, you hear them more amongst your friendship group and you're like NCT classes, and you're like, oh my goodness, that was what I was going to pick. So it's always good to have some alternatives up your sleeve, and I think Lydia is really cool, particularly because of the next name. Number 5 went up 12 spots as well, but is higher up, and it's the name Delilah. We've been talking about Delilah for so long on this channel. I absolutely adore it. It's such a gorgeous name, and it's really shrug off its kind of biblical roots a little bit more. A lot of modern parents that I'm chatting to don't remember the Samson and Delilah story as much, and Delilah means delicate, and it really sounds like its name, so it's beautiful. And again, it's got the L sounds. We just love an L sound for our girls. It's so soft and pretty. The name that's kind of shooting up right at the bottom of the chart, which could be an alternative, is Delphine. I feel like Delphine is really sophisticated. Obviously it's got the French to it. Daphne obviously is one of our fastest rising names outside of the top 100 after Bridgerton, and I feel Delphine really works. It means dolphin. I don't know if that would put you off, but who doesn't like dolphins? It has shot up right at the bottom, but there were still only 27 baby girls named Delphine in the UK, so it could be an amazing alternative to a Delilah. And I also loved the idea of Dakota. So it's a little bit stronger, but I feel like with Delilah it's got a bit of an edge, and Dakota's really different for the UK, and it means friend or ally, which is really a lovely meaning. Dakota, it's at number 466. It's a kind of gender neutral name as well, so that's really trendy and popular at the moment, Dakota. So if you're thinking, oh, is Delilah getting out there, maybe I could play around with Dakota for a little while and see if it lands just as much. At number 4 is the name Maeve. Still up in the charts, which is lovely. It went up 17 spots, so quite a lot, to number 77. So it's one of the fastest trending names, actually the 4th most fastest trending name in the UK at the moment, Maeve. It's an Irish name, and it means the intoxicating one, or she who rules, because it's got a real deep mythology to it. So she was known as the queen of the fairies, so I can just see why it's so popular. It's so funny. Again, it's come so in with a bang. This name list is so pretty. Well done, all of us, picking such gorgeous names. I think it's just so special as a name, with that one syllable as well, which makes it really different. But there are some gorgeous alternatives. Maeve as well is sort of rising, but I actually really love the name Maven. You can add the N on the end, and it makes it a little more round, and it's so much further down the charts. It is jumping up in, but there were still only 7 girls called Maven last year, and I just think it sounds really complete and lovely. Do you? And Maven means one who understands. So it's such a beautiful meaning. Even with the kind of ruler of elves type of vibe, that sort of fairy and elves vibe, you could go for Avery, which is so lovely as well, and that's only at number 355, so you're having a bit more of a rare gem if you go with that. But Maeve, go for it, it is so beautiful. So the 3rd most trending name in the UK for girls, according to the Office of National Statistics, this is all data, is the name Lila. So we have Delilah, Lyra, and Lila. It's getting muddling up, but isn't that lovely? But what you don't want actually is in your class to have a Delilah, Lyra, Lila. It gets a little bit irritating when you pick the name, I know, but I do love Lila. I absolutely love it. Lila means dark beauty, so gorgeous, that meaning. It went up 21 places and is now at 76 in the UK chart. So pretty. So obviously with L names, they're all pretty much popular and it's harder to find rarer ones, but I love the name Lumi. We loved it on the channel. Do you remember a few years ago I talked about Lumi, and it means snow. It's a Finnish name, so really lovely for a winter baby, and I think it's so lovely and special and a little bit different. There were only 19 baby girls called Lumi last year. It's got like Mia vibes, and M names are all over the top of the charts as well, so Lumi is a fantastic little alternative, cute little find. Or you could go Lilia. So it's adding more L's, Lilia, but it is really lovely, the name Lilia. It's so much further down and it means lilac. I like the name lilac. I would go lilac or lavender. Never would get those past my vetoing husband. But Lilia is an alternative as well. The second most trending name in the UK is the name Margot. We just love it. It's been rising and rising and rising through the charts for the last few years. It's always on the trending name list. I think we have to thank the beautiful Margot Robbie, and I can't see her or this name going anywhere soon. It went up 23 places to number 57 in the UK charts, and I think, as I said, it's going to just continue to rise. With Margot, you can just do the alternatives of the meaning, so it means pearl, and pearl is such a beautiful name, again much further down the chart, number 238, but have a think about it. Do you really like pearl as well, or even the longer form Margaret? Margaret is so much further down as well. It is at 419, and it actually went on a little bit of a down this year, Margaret, but I think with Beatrice being one of the rising names as well, I think that Margaret could really come up, and I think I would be very tempted to go with Margaret, because then you've got the nicknames Pearl, you've got the nickname Margot, Maggie. You can play around with it so much, and it's such a beautiful timeless name that might help stand out a little bit more. And the number one trending name in the UK in the top 100 is the name Olive. So we still have Olivia as our number one name, so it's kind of no surprise that Olive is also up there. It went up 25 places to number 74 in the chart, so it was the most fastest rising, went up the most number of places of all the other girl names in the top 100, the lovely little name Olive. I think so many people will be jumping onto Olive after Olivia being the number one name, and why not? It is so sweet. So if you're thinking, I can't really go anywhere with Olive or Olivia, you can. There is another name out there. You could go Olivine, which I love. It's so lovely, and we love names ending the I-N-E. Olivine, suddenly you've got an unranked name. It's unranked. There were a few babies called Olivine the year before, but none this year, and it's so special. It means the same. It means olive tree, so a really lovely one. An olive tree's got all the symbolism of peace, so a really beautiful name, and it's the gemstone as well as the Olivine, so I really like it. Or even a name I heard this summer that then I got obsessed with is the name Ottilia. So I met a girl in Sweden called Ottilia, and I was like, I absolutely love the name Ottilia. So pretty, so rare, actually unranked here in the UK, Ottilia, and I feel like it literally has elements of every single name on this list. It's got all the L's from the Lyras and the Delilahs and the Lilas. Ottilia, it's got the Olive and the O from Olivia, but it's Ottilie's been around for a little while, but not Ottilia. So have a little think about it. So I hope you enjoyed hearing the most trending names in the UK at the moment. Do hit the little bell and subscribe button if you haven't already. I would really appreciate it. So many people who watch my channel don't subscribe, and it's free. It just really helps out YouTubers if you hit that subscribe button, and it means that whenever I do a new name list, it just pops up and you're recommended. And the boys list is coming hot on the heels of this one, so make sure you're around for that one, and I will see you on my next video. Bye guys.